Journey to Silius was released by Sunsoft on the NES in 1990. It's a side-scrolling run-and-gun shooter platformer type deal where you go around annihilating space terrorists. It was originally to be based on the Terminator, and I don't mean it was meant to be homage or inspiration. I mean this game was supposed to be the Terminator. But for whatever reason, Sunsoft lost the license to the movie while the game was being developed. I don't know if this was poor foresight or delays in the game's production or any other reason or reasons. The bottom line is, at the end of the day, we've got Journey to Silius instead, which maintained a plot within a similar vein as the original concept. You play as Jay McCrae, whose father is the head of a research team in part of a project to emigrate an overpopulating Earth to space colonies. Unfortunately, Jay's father gets killed by space terrorists under the cover-up of an accidental explosion, and Jay seeks revenge. He discovers the truth behind this conspiracy after coming across this cutting-edge futuristic technology called the floppy disk, revealing his father anticipated these attacks and urges his son to finish his work. So you strap on your gun and it's off for some good old-fashioned vengeance. So obviously it doesn't mirror Terminator's plot, but you can see how Sunsoft was basically able to do a little bit of scrubbing, and out came this. It's a pretty straightforward game. You walk from left to right, shoot everything you see, kill the boss, and move on to the next stage. You don't get infinite ammo though, with the exception of your default single-shot handgun, which you'll start off with. You'll also start with the shotgun that fires in 3 directions, although you don't get infinite ammo with this one. Other weapons you'll pick up along the way include the homing missile that sends a more powerful attack that you can control the direction of, a machine gun for rapid fire, the grenade launcher that sends explosives that look more like fucking missiles, and a laser that shoots, well, lasers. You'll get these weapons right before the boss battle of each stage, so it's kind of a giveaway as to which weapon you're gonna want to use on the boss you're about to face. So it's not like Mega Man. Like I said, very straightforward. There is a strategy though of conserving your ammo with these guns, and each weapon doesn't have its own ammo meter. You get 1 solid meter for all your guns, which is kind of a jip, so don't get trigger happy unless it's with the regular gun. Personally, I like to use the normal gun for the most part anyway until I get to the boss. You don't get your weapons refilled by that point. You can get weapon refills throughout the stage. Enemies will drop them upon death, as well as health refills. Other than that, that's it. There's no invincibility or extra lives to be found, and none of the items are in fixed locations. Everything has to be picked up by fallen enemies by chance, so you don't really know how much weapon or health refills you're going to encounter throughout a given stage. The controls are responsive, but it would have been nice to move or turn yourself around a little quicker. And while the graphics are pretty good, the level design itself is kinda plain. Not that there's anything really negative about it, it just is what it is. And that's pretty much the game in a microcosm. It's more than fine, better than average for sure, but it just feels like there could have been a little bit more. It's a bit of a shame that the Terminator franchise wouldn't turn out to be this game, because with all the disappointments that exist in licensed NES games based on films, this would have been one of the better ones for sure. And that's even with the adjustments that had to be made to compensate for it. If Sunsoft didn't have to make that pivot and the game came out in its original vision, who knows, it might have been even better. But it's still a good game, and the soundtrack does kick ass. So you start things off with these robots that jump out at you like rabbits. Blast them before they reach you, and jump up to wipe out this flying gun that fires a spread shot from overhead. Keep your distance if it's firing. You'll see a glimpse of these guns that pop out of the ground and fire lasers. Get down so you're level with them and take them out. Then you'll see these missiles firing straight up in the distance. Be ready for them to come down, stop, and let them fall before advancing. Then there are these guns that fire in an arc pattern long range, so get in position to let its projectiles sail over you and let them have it. You'll then come across the sub-boss, this large robot that fires missiles that come at different heights, So stand as far back as possible so you have the most time to react by jumping over them or taking cover. Keep in mind too that these missiles do adjust their position in midair by a little bit, so keep an eye out for that. When you do take them out, you'll get the machine gun and fight the boss, this helicopter that starts off dropping these things that bounce around. Stand back and shoot them down, and then the chopper will go off screen and come back firing bullets. Avoid them, shoot the shiny part at the top of the helicopter until it's destroyed, and you're on to the next stage. In stage 2, you'll meet these robots that creep along. Just stay back and fire. This thing is similar to the flying enemy in the first stage, but it fires straight ahead with a lot more rapid fire, so kill it quickly or get past its firing radius. Then this thing will fire in all directions while spinning. Stay back so you can position yourself between the bullets and attack when there's an opening. When you make your way down, slip into the gap between the spinny thing's attacks and shoot it down before moving on. You'll get a rematch with that mini boss from stage 1, and an elevator will come take you up to the next section after you destroy it. After dealing with some familiar faces for a little while, you'll go up another elevator and you'll run into this alien looking thing that floats overhead and sends 3 small explosives out in scattered formation. Try to either run past it and avoid the explosives, or keep your distance and attack, because it won't be hitting you from far away. Then you'll reach the sub-boss, this tall machine that stalks you. It moves slow but takes a lot of hits, and you have to hit it in the top of the head, I guess you could call it. Stay back and fire rapidly, but try to be as accurate as you can while being fast at the same time. After taking him out, you'll get the homing missile and it's on to the boss, this huge tank. It fires 2 cannonballs that alternate landing back against the wall and a little bit short of that. So obviously you want to alternate going back and forth into the 2 open spots. You don't want to get any closer to him than that, because he lunges a claw out at you periodically. At the same time, you have to jump to reach the tank's weak spot, which is this crystal thing in the middle here. If you're quick enough, you can get 2 shots to fire off right in a row and double up on your attacks. But there's not a lot of time to take your shot, so you're going to have to be on the move often. Even though the newly acquired homing missile is the preferred weapon here, it's because it deals the most damage and not because you can stay down low and control the missile. You have to move around too much. After finishing it off, it's on to stage 3. In the beginning, you've got these tall guys that just walk slowly. Take them down, and watch these little overhead flying things that try to take your head off. Shoot them quickly, or let them pass over you if they're high enough. Then you'll encounter this gun hanging off the ceiling. It'll fire 2 shots diagonally intermittently, so wait for an opening before moving. But if you can reach it, jump up and shoot it down to just make things easier. There are a lot of these throughout the stage, sometimes on the floor. Lay down to shoot them down. You'll go up an elevator, and these traps will slam down as you approach it. Get close to trigger it, and quickly pass, because it'll come right back down once it reaches the ceiling again if you're in the path. Crossing the short one might seem impossible, but you can just about make it through. Then you've got these lasers that flash on and off. Wait for the brief opening and advance quickly. It looks like you need to jump to get through, but you can just walk. There are these spiders on the wall. They'll fire if they're level with you, otherwise they'll just crawl at a medium pace. Dodge it if it fires, and waste it. You can also wipe out these little pods that send out a laser vertically. Clear them out of the way, and watch out for these protrusions that drop from the ceiling. Get close to trigger them to fall in front of you and pass by. Carefully slip between these 2 laser pods, clear them away, and take another elevator up. Be ready to fire immediately at all this bullshit. Soon after is the sub-boss, this walking gunned robot that fires at a diagonal angle. Stay back to minimize your hits, fire as rapidly as you can, and take out the face until it blows up and gives you the laser gun, which you'll want to use on the boss, this motherload of guns firing from all directions. The guns don't move, so the trajectory of the bullets is always the same. You've got 2 lasers overhead that fire diagonally, and 3 straight ahead that fire straight on. The 3 out front always follow a pattern with the one up top shooting first, and then the next one down, and so forth, while the lasers alternate as well. Because you've got 2 up top following a rhythmic pattern and the 3 below doing the same, you've got a polyrhythm to deal with. I guess Danny Carey designed this machine. The crystal thing in the middle is your target, so shoot at it from about here. It'll keep you out of reach of the lasers unless you jump, which you will need to do to reach the target. So make your move when the right side laser isn't coming, and the guns up front are in the short break between shots too. Otherwise, just wait it out. It's tedious, but there's no time limit, so fuck it. Soon enough, you'll finish it off and move on to stage 4. You start off with this flying machine that weaves its way towards you. Jump and shoot it quickly, or just duck under and let it pass. You'll find a couple of these guns that are installed in the ground. Once you get close, it pops up and starts shooting in an arc pattern. Stay back, drop down, and fire whenever you see them up ahead. They're designed to trap you into walking into their path. These tall alien robots are like those earlier enemies that slowly lumber towards you. Simply shoot them before they get to you, and wait for the short opening before passing through these hydraulic pumps. Then you've got these blades that pump up and down, and your instinct might be to jump underneath them when they're on their way up, but you actually want to jump over them. Your presence will actually trigger them to shift down no matter which side of it you're on, so yeah, you don't want to be underneath it when this happens. Then you've got this asshole on a rocket pack hovering around. He'll fire a spread shot of 3 projectiles before swooping his way to the other side, and he takes a decent amount of shots, so stand back, shoot him from a distance, and slip between the projectiles. The further back you stand, the more reaction time you have, plus you won't trigger him to do his swoop attack. When you come down this elevator, take out the gun immediately so you can give yourself some space to take out the tall prick. You don't want to be getting rained on by bullets while fighting him off. These chunks in the ceiling will drop down on you. Walk up close to trigger them before continuing. As you move through this area, a wall of spikes will drop and drift across the ground. Jump onto it and mind your footing, because there are spikes in the small pits. Then you'll get to these dropping platforms. Get off them quickly and shoot down the enemies ahead of you before moving on to the next ones. After dealing with some more familiar faces down this corridor, you'll come to a drop where you're basically guaranteed to take a hit. So don't stop the fight, just press on, and the sub-boss is not long after. It comes in 2 forms. The first one is this monstrosity that slowly moves towards you and fires a couple bullets. The bullets are easy enough to avoid, and he does move slow, but he takes so many fucking hits that you're basically guaranteed to get hit before you move to the other side and try to unload on him more. You can only hurt him by attacking his head, so you have to jump constantly, unless you use the shotgun. But even then, you can't be accurate with a rapid attack. I would make an exception here and use a missile or a laser to take this guy out instead of the regular gun. You might use up some of your ammo, but you need to survive this shit. Once you take out the first form, you've got his dismembered head floating around, firing a spread shot. This time he doesn't take as many hits, and you can actually jump over him this time. The further back you are, the easier it is to avoid the bullets, but it does take a decent amount of hits, so I'd just use a powerful gun again to finish it off, especially since you don't really need your weapons against the boss all that much. All you need to do is get the timing down. It'll fire a fat-ass laser blast at you, and that's it. Just right back to the laser shot over and over again. The trick is jumping over it. There's not a lot of room because the laser's so thick. Plus, if you fidget too much, you can fall into this pit. So what you want to do is position yourself on the edge to give yourself more room to react, and listen for the sound cue. The laser will make this whirring noise right before firing. Jump right after you hear that, and fire right as you're level with the crystal thing, which is only exposed right after firing off the laser. So you have to time this right. The grenade launcher, which you just picked up from the sub-boss, by the way, is the ideal here, but if you used up your gun on the boss, just use the regular attack. It'll take longer, but once you've got the timing down, you should be okay. After finishing it off, you're on to the final stage, and it's a fucking auto-scroller. It moves at a decent pace too, so stay on the move. In fact, these flame spurts that fall from the ceiling can trap you if you fall too far back. So stay out front and move quickly once there's an opening so you're ahead of this shit. Then you'll end up on these conveyor belts. You'll want to get ahead of the auto scroll But you don't want to go too far so you can't see this shit falling from the ceiling. You don't want to get crushed. But definitely be within the grasp of the blocks, because once you see this one that's moving away from you, you're going to want to get on the next one that drops from above, because that's the last chance you have to reach it before you get taken off into the pit. Then you've got these giant presses that give you a small opening before you can pass through. Sound familiar? Then you've got all these crates that fall from the ceiling. Take your time, at least as much as you can with the auto-scrolling, and let them fall in front of you before passing. Sometimes there's a lot of them. Then you've got presses that push upwards. Get off them quick, and then a line of 3 up against each other. You have to get by before they start dropping or you'll take a hit. You can't wait around. After some more crates, you'll hit the boss, a massive ship. This glass piece at the end is the target, but you can't always reach it because the ship will start to move. This green thing will fire at you. Watch for where the dot lands. That'll be the direction where it shoots after it stops. Once the ship moves forward and gets low, you'll have to get on the ground so you don't get clipped. Then these jet blasts will get in your way. You'll be able to stand up again at this point, even though it looks like you're not able to. Wait for the engines to stop temporarily and run by. Then wait again for another set and do the same thing. And on the other side of the ship, it's the same thing as the front. You have to take out both sides of the ship to finish it off. If you miss one side, you'll have to wait for the ship to rotate back to the other side, and you have to do the whole avoid the jets and the guns and all that. When you finally do finish it off, you get one more battle. I guess this is the thing that killed your father. He walks slowly to you, drops to his knees, and throws a couple punches. It sounds easy, but evading him seems nearly impossible when you first play it. But it turns out there is a slight opening if you jump over him right as he bends down to punch you. You basically have to anticipate his movement, then get to the other side and unload on him. You can only hurt him by going after his face, so you have to jump and shoot, kind of like the sub-boss in Stage 4. And similar to that boss, he takes a lot of hits, in spite of his simple attack pattern. And he's hard to avoid, so yeah, a lot of similarities to that fight. And since this is the last fight, it's a good idea to save your ammo for it. Using the grenade launcher in particular will minimize the amount of times you'll need to hit him. After finishing him off, you'll get a quick cutscene of what I'm guessing is a batch of people immigrating from Earth in one of those space colonies, signifying your successful continuation of your father's work per his wishes. Unless I'm missing something, I don't know. The staff rolls, and that wraps up this game, and that wraps up this edition of Aqualung's Game Reviews. See you next time.